Hello. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Today, we are looking at a very big decision that was taken recently concerning the creation of Anioma State. Big news coming there from the Senate Committee on State Creation. They just recently held a meeting in Lagos, and it was announced that an additional state is going to be created to make it 6 states in the southeast. As you all know, or as most people don't know, the geopolitical zones in Nigeria have 6 states. The northwest has 7 states, but the southeast has only just 5. So there has been this push for the creation of Anioma State. And this Anioma State comprises the 9 local governments in Delta North Senatorial District that are Igbos. They speak the Igbo language and they practice the Igbo culture. That is incidentally where Enuani, my own community people, are from. We occupy the 4 local governments out of the 9 local governments that belong to the Igbos. So, as it was approved in Lagos a few days ago that an additional state should be created to make the Southeast 6, to bring it to par. Because the cry against marginalization is not just a hoax, it is real. The Igbos have just 5 states. Most people don't know what that means. It means when there is a vote for something to come to the Southeast, for instance, if there's a contract that is to be awarded, if there is money to be distributed to the zones, the people who are from the Southeast, even if they are in unity, will not be able to make up the number. So if there's an additional state, it means an additional 3 senators, an additional 10 House of Reps members. That is what it means to the Southeast. Now, if you now hear Senator Ned Nwoko, you will know that he is a senator from the Southeast region. That is if Anioma State becomes the 6th state in the Southeast. That is what it means politically. Now, while this is ongoing, there's also a clamor for the creation of Adada State, a Titi State. These are states that are already in the Southeast. So if a Titi State or Adada State is going to be created, it is from communities and local governments that are already in the Southeast. But if Anioma State is added to the Southeast, it increases the geographical spread of the Igbo-speaking people. So that is why I want you to have a say in this topic. Do you think Anioma State should be added to the Southeast, or Adada State and a Titi State should be created? Historically speaking, in terms of the history of the Anioma people, there are communities in Anioma that trace their root, their history, their ancestry back to the Southeast. There are also communities that do not, but it does not in any way reduce their Igbo-ness. They are still Igbos by cultural practice, by language, and by everything you can think of that makes someone Igbo. If I leave this English language that I'm speaking and switch to my community's dialect of the Igbo language, I'm sure if you put your ears to the ground, ị ga-anụ onye m ekwu, ị ga-anụ asụsụ m asụ, asụsụ anyị bụ asụsụ Igbo. Azụ afịa anọ wazụ n'ala Igbo bụ Eke, Orie, Afọ na Nkwọ. Anyị ememe nne nwa ọmụgwọ bụ nnọọ ya ọmụa ọmụgwọ ka anyị kpụa anyị wa ji unu akpọ ịwa ji ụfọdụ akpọ iri ji ya bụ omere ife ka anyị kpọọ ịwa ji anyị ji aselebreti feji ọkwụ nke unu akpọ aha ji ọkwụ ụfọdụ akpọ anyị eji ọkwụ ụfọdụ akpọ ha njọkwụ ofu afọ ọdọ. Our language, our cultural practices are the same. We practice the leadership system that is by gerontocracy, whereby the oldest man becomes the leader of the lineage. Obolo diokpala, ụfọdụ akpọ ọkpara, akpọ ọkpala. It is the same Igbo language, the same Igbo practice. This diokpala lives with an ofo, the same way it is done in every part of Igbo land. So culturally, Anioma people and the Igbos of the southeast are the same, culturally speaking. Now, in terms of geography, where it is located, I can move from Asaba to Awka in 45 minutes, but I cannot move from Asaba to Burutu in the same Delta State in 4 hours. I can move from Asaba to Onitsha in 5 minutes, but I cannot move from Asaba to just Benin, which is this in the same south-south, in 1 hour 30 minutes. With the bad state of the road, it can even take up to 2-3 hours now. So geographically speaking, Anioma State is better positioned to be in the southeast than where it currently is in the south-south. In Delta State, where Anioma State is going to be created from, we have up to 4 recognized ethnic groups. We have the Isokos here. Their language I do not understand. Their culture I do not understand. We have the Urobos here. Their language I do not understand. Their culture I don't understand. We have the Shekiris here. The same thing. We have the Ijo. The same thing. But we, the Igbos of Delta States, are culturally the same, similar with our southeastern brothers. So, creating an Anioma State and joining it as a 6th state of the southeast is just as simple as uniting and reuniting us with our kids and kin. I am from Ubuluku in Delta State. My kids and kin are in Ubuluisiuzo. They migrated away from Ubuluku. My kids and kin are in Ubuloru in Imo State. They migrated from Ubuluku. My kids and kin are in Okuvuru in Mbise. They migrated from Ubuluku. My kids and kin are in Uburu. My kids and kin are in Obulo Hausara. My kids and kin are in Ozobolo. All these are Obolo communities. One in Delta State, the others in the southeast. And they are brothers. They were not manufactured by distinguished Senator Ned Nwoko. They have been there. The clamor, the push for the creation of Anioma State is older than the distinguished senator himself. So if he achieves this by the grace of God, he has helped the people of Anioma to fulfill an age-long request, not a new request. It is not new. With all due respect, I've never heard about Adada State. I've never heard about Etiti State, but the Anioma people from time immemorial, even before Nigeria was created, as far back as 1951, have been clamoring to have their own separate region. This is why in 1963, they were made part of the Midwestern region. And interestingly, before the Midwestern region was created, people like Dr. Michael Okpara, people like Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, teamed up with Dennis Chukwude Osadebe to move from place to place, from Urubo to Bini to so many other places, to say, when it is time for referendum, come out in mass and vote. Let us have our own state. And it was achieved because of the unity that existed between the Igbo people of then, unlike it is now, where you will have somebody who is saying, I am not Igbo. In the past then, even the Urhobos were classed as Igbo people. Even the Benis were classed as Igbo people. In the old Western Regions Assembly, Bini people were all called Igbo people because of their closeness and nearness to this region. And because there were also indigenous Igbo people in Benin then until today, because the Ibanke people are Igbos. So, what are we saying in a nutshell? That the creation of Anioma State is a welcome development, and the what is it called? That the icing on the cake would be to make sure that that Anioma State becomes part of the Southeast region. Yes, it is good to create Anioma State, but the icing on the cake would be to make sure that they are joined with their kith and kin. I am not kith and kin with Urhobos. I am not kith and kin with the Jaws. I am not kith and kin with the Isokos. I am not kith and kin with the Shekiri. Neither am I kith and kin with Bini people. So, it is good that we ensure that this Anioma State that is about to be created fulfills destiny by ensuring that when I talk about my brothers from Ozobolo, my brothers from Obolo Isiuzo, my brothers from Obolo Iwejiofo, my brothers from Okovoro, my brothers from all the Obolo communities, I say we are in the same region. And when we see ourselves by the grace of God in the National Assembly or any part of the world, we can boldly say we are brothers, not separated by cartography, not separated by politics. Let me know if tomorrow this state is created and joined to the Southeast, somebody will still come out to say, I am not Igbo. Somebody who bears Igbo names, who practices Igbo culture will then say, I am not Igbo. It is not possible anymore. So, I am sure the President, His Excellency, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has had a stint at the Senate, even if it was short-lived, who understands parliamentarism, will make sure that when Anioma is created, justice is done with it. And then the next topic, distinguished Senator Ned Nwoko, in his speech, in his now very viral video, where he talked with Shehu Okimbaloye on Channels TV's Politics Today, mentioned the release of Nnamdi Kanu with so much courage. We all know how Shehu can be, how he can ask questions that are unnecessary. Questions like, does Senator Ned Nwoko think the Nigerian court has been unjust? And the Senator Ned Nwoko answered him with so much courage. I am not undermining any senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but I think it takes a Ned Nwoko to answer that kind of question, and he answered it like Senator Ned Nwoko, who is not hungry, who is not waiting for political favors, who is not a political jingoist, who does not come to make praises of the president. Yes, he tried to absolve the Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration of so much wrongdoing, but he asserted it clearly that it is injustice to detain somebody for 4 years and say you are going through court processes. What kind of court processes last that long? What kind of investigation are you doing for 4 years that you will detain somebody like that? If you had a case against him, get it on with and get it over with. So he proposed for the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, which I support wholeheartedly. Thank you so much, my brother CIS. I am from Southeast. Oh, I just saw your message and I'm trying to read it. I'm from the Southeast. My ancestors migrated from Anioma. I support Anioma State, except if Anioma people reject it, then no, God forbid. Now, there are people who are against the creation of Anioma State. And they are Anioma people. And they are doing this for political reasons. Because their political godfather favors that Delta State remains for his own political benefits. Now, this is somebody who everybody knows. I don't have to mention his name. I don't have to mention his name before you know who I'm talking about. Now, he is the person who has instigated every other person who is politically active in the region, who are acting and seeing him as their political godfather, to fight the creation of Anioma State. Now, these are people who, anybody who went through Nigerian university should understand that his people have never, ever for one day accepted that they are part of Anioma. They will boldly tell you they are not Anioma people. They rejected Anioma itself. So I'm not surprised if they are rejecting being Igbo or having the Anioma State itself created. Now, when it was convenient for them, they used this Anioma to rise to power. Even used it to rise very high. But now they are fighting the creation of Anioma State, but they are just a tiny minority. Tiny minority, I said, because when I said the Igbos of Delta State have 9 local governments, 9, 2 are just the ones doing this. And it's not just the full 2, it's just a tiny quarter of 1 that is doing this. So 4 local governments out of the 9 are Aniocha South, Aniocha North, Oshomili South, Oshomili North. That is the Anioma itself. And that's Enuani. Every other part have accepted. Just a few people who are loyal to this one politician. This is not about politics. The creation of Anioma State was not a political request. It is a request that is entwined with culture. It is a request that is in tune with what the people want. What do they want? They say, join me back with my kit and kin. I have brothers, like my brother who just commented here and said his people migrated from Anioma. The same way there are people who will tell you in Anioma that their people migrated from Ore. We have people of Ibuzu Isu who are from Isu and Ore. People of Ibuzo. We have Akuku Igbo people who are siblings with these Ibuzo people. We have people of Ogwashuku. We have the Umuikem people in Ubuluku. We have as many of these lineages. We have the Oboli people in almost every community in Anioma who trace their root back to Ore and other parts of Igbo land. We have people of Ishago who trace their roots back to Oka. So these are core Igbo people that cannot be separated from their kit and kin by state creation. Even when they were separated by state creation, they were still identifying as Igbos. Historically, these Anioma people have been called Western Igbos, Midwestern Igbos, Bendel Igbos, Delta Igbos, and now there's a chance to create them an Anioma State, and some of them are saying we are not Igbos. We have been Igbos from time immemorial. Culturally, geographically, and otherwise, we are Igbos. Aibundi Igbo. O wonenyo ya Anioma so na asusu Anioma nwa afu Igbo dị manụ. O wonokwu ọnụ onye Anioma ga-ekwu onye kpo onwe onye Igbo anụ asụsụ Igbo dị manụ. In case you're just joining us, I am pleading with you to please give us a thumbs up, share this video to your audience. It's a very short live broadcast. I'm doing this to ensure that this channel gets visibility, nothing more. Otherwise, I have made a very long video to talk about Anioma State creation, and I would like you to watch the video. But this one is to help you and myself and this channel to get visibility. So if you're just seeing this video, please like the video, share it to your audience so that the video can get more visibility, so that we can get more people to watch. Even if this is not the right time to make a live video because a lot of people are at work, I would like this video to get visibility. So the Anioma people, the 9 local governments, I haven't mentioned themselves. Let me mention them. I've mentioned Oshomili South, that has its headquarters in Asaba, and which incidentally is the capital of Delta State. So we are already sitting at the top of Delta State as its capital. We are not crying marginalization. And Anioma's son just finished as governor. He did 2 terms. So we have the capital of Delta State. We are not crying any marginalization, but we are saying join us back with our brothers and sisters. Don't separate us from them. A lot of people live in Asaba, they work in Onitsha, they work in Oka, they work in Nnewi, they live in Asaba. A lot of people live in Onitsha, they work in Asaba. One work closes, they go back home, and vice versa. So this city, if not for the river Niger, if not for Mambala River, has conurbated, it has joined together. So there's no debate about whether we are Igbos or not. What we are saying is, what is worth doing is worth doing well. What is worth doing is worth doing well. If Anioma State is eventually created, link us back to our brothers and sisters immediately. Link us back to our kids and kin. Link us back. And also, release Nnamdi Kanu, because if you are creating an Anioma State, you are solving one of the problems he raised. You are solving one of the questions he raised, because part of his agitations was marginalization against Ndi Igbo. So if you are solving the problem of marginalization, carry it on, set him free. He raised the question, you have brought an answer, set him free. He shouldn't be anywhere near detention. He never lifted up arms to cause mayhem. The people who are causing mayhem are walking scot-free. They are being negotiated with. Set him free. As you create an Anioma State, for whatever reasons, we are happy with it. We want an Anioma State. And we are pleased with Senator Ned Nwoko. The primary responsibility of a lawmaker is to make laws. And if this man ends up making it possible for a law to come out that an Anioma State has now finally been created, he has written his name in gold. It is more than any road construction project that any senator will attract. Those are constituency projects that are statutory, and they will definitely come. Thanks for this presentation. Please continue the sensitization. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. So this sensitization, like he said, is very necessary. A lot of people also make very insensitive comments. Like I saw yesterday on social media where somebody posted, a lot of people that never believed they are Igbos are now tracing their roots back to the southeast because of Anioma State. No, the people who were fighting us are still fighting us, but they are now beginning to see reasons. We must also welcome them with open arms and give them a soft landing. In truth, most of them do not have any business tracing their origin back to the southeast, but it does not mean they are not Igbos. There was no time they were speaking a different language and then the Igbos conquered them and gave them a new language. No. It is not part of Igbo history that Ndi Igbo conquered this place, gave them kings, they now started speaking Igbo. No. All these areas were speaking a version of Igbo language. The Igbo language is so versatile that if you move from one community to another, you have met another version of Igbo language. If you move from Ubuluku, where I am from, to Ogwashuku, you have met another version. You will distinguish we are all Enuani. But if an Ogwashuku man speaks, I'll tell you that one is Ogwashuku. This one is Ubuluku. This one is Ubulokiti. This one is Iseluku. This one is Iselazaba. Oh, this one is Asaba. This one is Ibuzo. Oh, that one is Obio. They speak very different dialects of Igbo language. But they have not said they are not one. Oh. But then when they hear somebody from Ungwa speak, they will say, oh, what is across the River Niger? The River Niger was never a boundary between Denis Osadebe and Dr. Michael Okpara. They related as brothers. That time there was no bridge, sir. You have to enter your canoe and paddle yourself down to Onitsha to go and meet with our father, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. So what I'm saying in essence is this. The bridge connects us. It doesn't divide us in any way at all. It doesn't divide us. We are Igbo people. My name, for instance, is Ngozi Chukwuka Onwadi. Onwadi is the same thing as saying Nkade in other dialects of Igbo language. So we are Igbo people by culture, by language. Our leadership system, our marriage culture In fact, because there are traditions that don't change. Culture can change because culture is dynamic. But traditions are passed down from generation to generation. Things like ofo are things that were passed down to us by our ancestors. That was what they used as their symbol of leadership, justice, and authority. We did not manufacture it. It was passed down to us by them because they were Igbos and we are Igbos. Things like our marriage culture called Ibamanya, some call it Ibanku in the eastern part of Igbo land. Ibamanya, Ibanku. Anyị aga ọjị tupu anyị ga-ata ọjị, anyị ga ọjị. Ọjị ka kwaji ebibo mo. We do all these cultural practices of the Igbo people. There is none, not one, that is alien to us. Nothing that is done in eastern Igbo land that is not done in this part of western part of Igbo land. So we are one, culturally and traditionally. So there is no point bringing any sort of separation because of yesterday's events of the Civil War, where after the war or during the war, because there was lots of massacre. Imagine that during that Civil War, a king in Anioma brought General Moritala Mohammed, who supervised the massacre, and gave him a chieftaincy title just to appease him. They were killing our people. They were buying our people in mass number. So parents would just gather their children and say, Wajokwai yaso no Igbo. Wajokwai no Igbo. People were taught to deny their Igbo identity. Imagine parents that were taught to deny their Igbo identity now grew up and gave birth to children. What will they teach their own children? Those parents actively taught their children, never say you are Igbo. Even if everything about you is speaking Igbo. Your name is Igbo. Your culture is Igbo. The only thing you can say is you did not migrate from the East. That doesn't stop you from being Igbo in any way. That doesn't stop you from being Igbo. Your people still use ofo. For instance, you are a man, you will later get to that age, they will bring your ofo for you. You become the Okpala of your Igbo. If you cross over to the other side of the river Niger, it's the same thing. The same cultural practice. The same names. The same food. We have Okazi, they have Okazi. We have Otazi, they call it Otazi. We have Aluluisi, they call it Nchao. Everything that we make use of as Igbo people, they make use of. We are one culturally, linguistically. So, I want to use this opportunity to thank the senator for doing his job, for knowing his job first of all, and then doing his job, which is to represent the people's interest. The interest of Ndi Igbo is stop the marginalization. Stop the marginalization. We even want the Igbo presidency, but let's take things one at a time. If we cannot get the Igbo presidency, if what we get is a regional government, break down power. Too much power is concentrated at the center, and that is one of the Nigeria's major problems. So everybody wants to be president because of what is involved in it. The enormous power that comes with being a Nigerian president is too much. That is what should be decentralized so that it can become a bit unattractive. Give states the power to form and manage their own police structure so that insecurity can reduce. So that if Abia State is doing well in terms of security, Enugu State can go and copy from them. If Lagos State is doing well in their own model of security, Jigawa State can go and copy from them. Not that there is one central body managing Nigeria's police. The security situation in North Central is not the same with the security situation in the Southeast. Each region has its own peculiar security challenges. This is why if state police is approved the states can decide how to handle their own peculiar security situations. But most importantly, we are glad that an extra state has been approved for the Southeast, and may it be Anioma State, ahead of Adada and Etiti State. Those states are already in the Southeast. We want the Southeast to have its own number. We want the Southeast to have its own geographical spread as it was. In fact, if the boundaries are appropriately adjusted, Ibanke should be included or would be included as part of Anioma because they are part of Anioma. I don't know how they are going to do that if it's to meet with the Edo State House of Assembly or the federal government can override that, but Ibanke is part of Anioma. And when I speak Ibanke, most people will know it's just very close to Benin. In fact, it's in the same geographical territory. That is why when we say, and those people there are indigenous to that place. If I'm to publish words in Benin language, you will find 70 to 80% of their words are Igboid or Yoruba origin. It is either an Igbo origin word or Yoruba origin word. So, Igbos are in many parts of all these places. We are not talking about the Igbos in Benue State, Igbos in Kogi State, the Igbos in Bayelsa State, the Igbos in Cross River State. We are not talking about all these ones. We are talking about the ones in Delta and they don't now to come back and join the Southeast. Thank you for watching this video. In case you are still watching up to this moment, this is Enuani Cultural Forum where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Thank you for joining me. Please share this video to your audience and do have a very wonderful day. Until we come your way next time, thank you. I'm very grateful for you to have watched up to this moment. And I would encourage you to go to our channel, find other very interesting videos there to watch, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.